Talk about this disaster you had over the weekend.
We were out and about, and I hadn't been feeling very good, so I asked Jason if we could go for a walk.
Right.
So we went for a walk with the dogs, and we're just like walking around. I had my Birkenstocks on, which this is a key
What the
point.
hell is a Birkenstock?
They're your sandals.
Oh, I thought maybe this was some kind of thong you were wearing.
No, I don't wear underwear.
Okay.
So I was wearing my Birkenstocks. They're black. They have these big silver buckles on them. They're nice looking, and
They're like fancy sandals, right?
yeah, they're supposed to be okay for walking in. That's the whole thing. And I wasn't doing any power walking. I hadn't been feeling great or anything. We were just enjoying the weather, taking a walk, walking along, and talking, being happy. But anyway, the tip of my Birkenstocks, they kind of go up on the edge. You guys know what I'm talking about? Like your toe kind of fits inside the edge of them like this. So the tip of my sandal kind of caught on the curb. And I fell so fast and so hard.
Now I'm telling you, here's the deal, right? We're walking side by side like this, and I'm like, I look at you, we're walking along, I look back, and you just go, bam, just that fast. And I'm gonna tell you something. I heard your face hit the concrete.
Yeah, it's probably my tooth. Yeah, it sucked. So I was so upset, and it was like it happened so fast. I mean, so fast that most people will put their hands out to. I mean, maybe my reflexes aren't what they once were, but
my immediate thought was, I rode dirt bikes for like 40 years, and I learned you don't want to break your fall with your face.
Right. Yeah, you don't. But I did not have time. And I think my knees hit first. I mean, I think I tripped. It's like I tripped and fell to my knees, but then immediately, and I think maybe I wasn't even expecting it because I fell to my knees and then I immediately just fell forward, face first on the concrete. I'm bleeding all over the place and I'm upset because I hit my tooth and I've always had this huge fear of breaking my teeth. So I could tell that my tooth was broken. I could feel the big part of my tooth in my mouth, and I wasn't sure what tooth yet. So I'm assuming it's probably my front tooth. Thank God it wasn't my front tooth. It was an incisor, which is bad enough, but it shifted my whole tooth. I mean, I fell hard. It shifted my whole tooth. I have a big chunk of my tooth missing. Thank God it's better now, but I had this big old...
you had a huge fat lip.
I had a big fat lip, and I had a bump on my forehead, and then my fat lip, when it healed, and I had this humongous big scab on my lip. It looked like I had a really, really huge open herpes sore that had just healed up. And the thing is, I would tell people that, like, how you look at someone, say they have a big growth on their face, and you notice it, and you can kind of tell, they can see in your eyes that, like, oh, they notice. And then you kind of just immediately look them back in the eye and start talking. I could see people doing that with my mouth. Seriously, I could see him kind of look and then be like, try to look me back in the eyes and pretend like they weren't. So then I felt compelled to say to them, this is not herpes. I just want you to know I don't I'm not out in public with this huge herpes sore.
Yeah, well, I mean, your whole lip was banged up. I mean,
it still looked like I just had a bad case of herpes that was healing, or big cold sores on my lip. It really did. It looked awful, and I'm a little bit of a hypochondriac. So then I started looking at my lip, and I'm like, oh God, maybe I do have herpes. Maybe, maybe that traumatized my mouth, and I have sores now, and that's what it is. But no, it wasn't. Let me tell you what I mean, this is not a big medical secret or anything, but my coworker is a physician. She told me I just needed to keep putting Vaseline on it and keep it moisturized, and she was right. That scab, once it was moisturized all the time, went away in a couple of days. That big scab.
Oh, well, that's good, man. That was good advice.
It was good advice. I can still tell where it was, but even today when I went to work, they were like, "Oh, you look so much better," which it's true.
So now you still got to make an appointment with the dentist to get that tooth fixed.
I do, and I don't want to. I mean, I want to get my tooth fixed, but I don't want to make an appointment with the dentist.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how many of you guys feel this way, but when you go to the dentist, tell me the truth. Don't you feel like you're being shamed? Don't you? I mean, I'm not kidding. It's like they don't mean to. I don't think they mean to, but there's always this hint of disdain, like, well, you haven't been here for a while.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, yes, I know. Or haven't really been flossing every day, have you? You know, and it's like, listen, damn it. You know, I mean, but I'm just kidding. I'm not kidding. There's this kind of you know, I mean, and I always kind of joke anyway, but I've gone in spurts in my life, and it's interesting because I worked in dental offices in my younger days. That was my
you told me that.
yeah, I did. I did like financial stuff. I didn't actually touch people's teeth, but which is funny.
You just took their money.
Which is funny. I mean, that I was the financial. I think my title was financial advisor. No, financial consultant. Maybe it was something like that, which is funny because I'm notoriously not good with money. Yeah. I mean, yeah, no, I'm not. But it was anyway. But I digress. What was I talking about? Oh, the dentist. So I've gone in spurts in my life. Sometimes because I go religiously, you know, every 6 months for a while, and then something will happen, and I'll miss, and then it'll get to be like a year, and then it'll be like a year and a half, and then I'm like, I don't want to go back because they're gonna shame me. So then you wait longer, and you wait longer, and you wait longer. So I know when I go to the dentist that they're going to be like, oh, man, your teeth don't look as good as they did the last time you were here. It's been a while, and I'm going to feel terrible about myself. And also they're going to tell me that I think that's another reason people don't like to go to the dentist is it costs a lot of money. I mean, even if you have dental insurance, it's expensive. Yeah, so you know it's going to cost a lot. And I just want to say something else about the shaming. I always felt this way about taking my children to the dentist, too. What is it about dentists? I mean, not only do I feel shamed about my own dental hygiene, but they make you feel ashamed about your children's dental hygiene. Literally, it's
you
like
need to have your kids brushing their teeth, man.
I know, I do. But when you were little, when you went to the dentist, did they have these little tablets they made you chew up? These little red tablets?
Oh, that's back when it was like a dye.
Yeah, and it would show like where all the plaque was on your teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah, so my dentist
I think that was only for a while they did that.
Yeah, God knows what they were giving us. It could have been poison. It was like iodine or something. Who knows what it was. But my dentist actually, now tell me this is not shaming. In the hallway of his office, and this wasn't even a pediatric dentist. He was a wonderful man that went to my church, who I love, Dr. McCall. But in their office, I'm not kidding, they had this bulletin board, and one side of it was the White Tooth Club, and one side of it was the Red Tooth Club. I'm not kidding. And kids' names were on there. They like put people's names on there. If you were
Are you sure it wasn't just like a before and after?
No. Like,
it
was the
good kid, bad kid.
Who would do that? The White Tooth Club and the Red Tooth Club. Well, I mean, you would be horrified. Can you imagine if the cute boy from school comes to Dr. McCall's office and there's my name, Julie Lehman, in the Red Tooth Club? That could be traumatizing, don't you think?
Yeah, man, that just doesn't seem right, does it?
So I was never in the Red Tooth Club, but I learned a thing. They gave you, there was a trick. You could get those little red pills, and if you took one at home and saw where the red was, and you got your toothbrush and you scrubbed all the red off, then when you went to the dentist and took one, your teeth would look.
Oh, you could get into the White Tooth Club.
Yep. I mean, most people got into the White Tooth Club. I don't really ever remember seeing a big list of people on the Red Tooth Club, but I mean, just the fact that they had one, I guess it did motivate you to get into the White Tooth Club. Yeah, maybe that's what it was.
It was there to scare the kids into brushing their teeth. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, the other thing. So when I would take my kids to the dentist, I worked for a pediatric dentist too. So I totally get pediatric dentistry. I'm not one of those control freak mothers. It's like, oh, let me go back with my kid, because no pediatric dentist will allow but for the most part, it's a rule. They don't allow parents to go back with their kids because kids get all freaked out and they cry and say, mommy, like the dentist is really hurting them and stuff if they're back there. So the dentists know this. They're like, I'll never get out of here if all the moms come back, because they won't let me like touch their kid with a drill.
So we've gone down a trail of dental stories, man. This was about you having an accident.
It's all related, but I'm talking now about the being shamed. This could be a short. Maybe this could be not only am I cool about not going with them, I'm like, please don't make me go with them. Take them, chain them to the chair if you need to, strap them down. I don't care. Just get it done, get it over with, and let me know when you need me. After the appointment, there's this moment of fear when you go in for the cleanings. There's this moment of fear. If the nurse comes out the one door and she says, Alec and Brendan's mom, can you come on back? And then you go back real quick and the dentist will tell you, about their little thing. And, if they need, go see an orthodontist or whatever the hell her report is, she can, for, 3 or 4 minutes. And then you take your kids and you go home. They get a little thing. But if the nurse comes out of these other doors, there's these like 2 little office doors. She comes out of these other doors. It's like, yeah, that means you are SOL. Your kid needs some work. They're going to be like, Brendan's mom, door number 2. And you're like, fuck. And then you go to the door and it's like, Alec has 7 cavities and Brendan... and Brendan needs braces, or whatever the fuck. And anyway, it's never good news. You either go to the door where the dentist just says, hey, kids need to brush more. Have you?
This dentist sounds horrible. So they had a good news door and a bad news door. They had the
other door just means
they had the white tooth club and
completely different dentist. The white tooth club and red tooth club was my dentist when I was a child, and the treatment door and the back door was if you were called into the little doors, it meant that your child needed treatment. And it could be that they need sealants, or it could be no big deal, but they need a retainer. Whatever the heck, but they need something. If it's just like, hey, we'll see you in 6 months, everything looks good, your kid never brushes his teeth, it's gross, whatever, it's just through the back door, but you're just like, yes, no cavities, you're so excited because that's expensive to go to the dentist.
Oh yeah, it's expensive.
So wait, we forgot the last part about my fall. So not only did I chip my incisor, and I won't show it to you because my teeth are not very attractive, but I chipped my incisor, busted up my lip, got a bump, it didn't have a concussion like when Jason made me fall out of the golf cart, but I did. It's a lot of head injuries since I've been married to Jason. I don't know. So I broke my glasses on top of all that.
Oh yeah, I broke your glasses.
And isn't that terrible? One of the first things I said was, "This is going to cost a lot of money. I can't afford all this."
Oh yeah,
that
you
was
did.
my first
You
thought.
were still on the ground and you said that. Yeah.
Yeah, because it meant I'm going to have to go to the dentist. I know that's going to be expensive.
Well, we were due for glasses anyway, so.
I know, but still, now I need 2 pair.
Yeah.
But I can't live with 1 pair. I don't know how you do it.
I've just worn them for a long time. My habits with them are real good. I don't tear them up and don't lose them.
Well, but what if you buy a pair and like 6 months in, you don't like the way they look? You just have to not like the way you look for the next year and a half?
Yeah, I just eat it for the next year and a half.
Well, anyway, yeah, we both need new glasses.
Oh, talk about how Brendan, your son, he thinks you're getting old and you're becoming a fall risk.
Yeah, that's what he said. He's like, Mom. First he's like, Mom, you fell again? I'm like, what are you talking about? When else did I fall? He's like, I swear, at least one other time you had a fat lip. And I said, yes. He said, when you came out to California to visit me, you had a big fat lip. And I said, well, that's from when the cans fell on my head. I didn't fall. He's like, oh my God, you're so accident prone. And he kept saying things like, do we need to put you in a home? Or do I need to get you one of those I fall and then I can't get up buttons? Have you become like a fall risk? It's so sweet. My kids are so sweet.
So sweet to you, yeah.
I'm not really a fall risk, although my ankle does give out every once in a while.
Yeah, I've seen that happen. You'll be all right.
I hope so, honey, because you're stuck with me.
If you made it this far, make sure you've subscribed. Thank you so much for joining us, and we wish you the best of time.